So welcome everybody. My name is Gus Naked. I'm the Director of College Success. Super excited to bring you this webinar today. It will be on LinkedIn. So without further ado, I'm super excited to bring you this webinar. It's on LinkedIn. Our wonderful presenter, Jane Titova, she is the VP or the Vice President of Recruiting and Employment at Wedbush Securities. She has so much great feedback for you, so much great tips and pointers for you. So please make sure you give her your undivided attention. So Jane, they're all yours.
Thank you so much, and pleasure to meet everyone. I am going to screen share, so please let me know if you guys are able to see my screen. You should be seeing a LinkedIn profile on the screen right now. Are you guys able to see it? Give me thumbs up, wave something. Okay, great. Awesome. I'm going to start this presentation right now. Let me know if you guys are able to see the slides. Okay, excellent. Let me just move away my camera. Great. Well, again, my name is Jane. It's a pleasure to meet everyone. I have been a recruiter for over 15 years, and I'm really excited to be able to share this knowledge with you guys about LinkedIn. I know we have a lot of people here, so please don't be afraid to ask questions throughout the presentation. Put them in the chat box. Gus will read them out to me. We'll also have some time for Q&A afterwards. So the purpose of today's presentation is to help about the LinkedIn basics and to help you understand how to best leverage LinkedIn for networking and business. So why LinkedIn? LinkedIn is a professional networking site. And if you guys look at these statistics, it's pretty staggering the amount of people and profiles that do exist on LinkedIn. 700 million members are on LinkedIn. And if you guys are not sure how LinkedIn works, basically it works through 3 degrees of separation. What does that mean? So basically, if you are connected to me, you have direct access to my connections, and you also have some visibility to the connections of my connections. That's how 3 degrees of separation works. So every time you add a new connection, you are potentially adding 400 new people. You're potentially adding access to 100 new companies. 500 plus jobs. So those statistics are very powerful. So if you guys can give me thumbs up, do you guys already have LinkedIn profiles? Okay, I see some of you guys do, some great, awesome, thank you. So let me tell you a little bit more about myself. So my name is Jane. I am the Vice President of Recruiting and Employment at Wedbush Securities, which is an investment bank in downtown Los Angeles. I have a bachelor's from Cal State Fullerton. I have an MBA from Pepperdine, and that's my professional picture right there. I am also a mother of 3 amazing kids. I'm also a wife, a friend, a daughter, a sister, a nurse, a chauffeur, homework helper, chef, champagne connoisseur, and so much more. I have hobbies. I snowboard, I travel, I hike, I read. I pretty much do outdoorsy stuff. So as you can see, some of these items describe my professional self, while other items describe my personal life. So today we're talking about LinkedIn, and it's important to remember that LinkedIn is a professional networking site. So please leave your personal life out of it. Another item that I want to highlight today is that internet is forever. Your digital imprint may be discovered years to come. So today you may be undecided about your future career path, but remember that tomorrow you may be running for Senate or maybe nominated to become a judge. Anything on internet is always discoverable. Please be selective of your choices and what you put out there. I'm going to spend a lot of time on LinkedIn profile. I'm going to break down every single section. And then I'm going to do a live demo as well, so you guys can actually see what these sections look like on LinkedIn. So LinkedIn profile consists of so many different sections. I'll go over most of them over the next 2 slides. We will also do a quick demo, as I mentioned. So if you guys have any questions in regards to the LinkedIn profile, please put them in the chat box. I'll be able to answer them during the demo portion. Please note that not all of the sections really need to be utilized. Some of them will add themselves, or you will continue adding them as you grow professionally through your career. The most important part of LinkedIn profile is you. So Make sure your LinkedIn profile represents you, who you are, what your skill set is, what your objectives, what your interests. But make sure you do it in the most professional manner. For LinkedIn profile picture, please choose a professional looking picture. It does not need to be done by a professional photographer. It just simply needs to look professional. Just don't use selfies with duck lips taken somewhere in the bathroom. There has been plenty of research that showed that profile pictures get significantly more views and more replies. You may also choose to add a professional background picture that represents something to you or about you. So I chose to add the Wedbush building, as you can see in the background. Claim your URL. Make it as simple as possible, something that contains your name. Down the road, you'll be able to use your LinkedIn URL as part of your resume or part of your email signature. So my URL is www.linkedin.com/in/J. Headline. Headline is a short statement that can be changed frequently. For example, a recent finance grad looking for a job in investment banking or something that sort. Summary section. This is where you can sell your professional self. It could cover your qualifications, it could cover your skills and your goals. Experience section is probably going to be the beef of your LinkedIn profile. So I encourage you to add any professional employment that you've done, any volunteer experience or internship experience. Education. Please do add all schools and areas of study. And please do brag about your GPA, but only as long as it's over 3.0. If your GPA is lower than that, you can omit that. Certification, licenses and certifications. This is the section that you will probably fill in later. So something like when you become a CPA, you can add information in there. Skills and endorsements. This is an excellent way to add keywords that recruiters can search for. So when I am doing a search for a profile, I use keywords. And your skills and endorsements, if they contain those keywords, your profile will pop up for me. Recommendations. Please do ask for recommendations. Don't be shy about asking for recommendations. And I'll show you how to do it in just a few minutes. There's a few more sections of the LinkedIn profile that I do want to mention. So featured and activity section. These sections can be added and they will also fill in automatically. Featured sections will show any publication or articles that you either published or were published about you. It also allows you to highlight certain posts and add links to external sites. Any activity will show in comments. So if you are looking at the activity sections, you will typically see comments, likes, or shares. So I want to remind you again, when you are adding comments, those comments will show up on your profile. Internet is forever, so please stay away from controversial topics and comments. The connections piece, it's an interesting piece because it allows you to keep track of all of your connections, to search through your connections, etc. I encourage you to add as many valuable connections as possible. And I emphasize on the word valuable because you do also need to be selective. If you keep on adding a bunch of multi-level marketing people, all they'll do is they will spam you and your inbox will turn into your junk box. So make sure you're also selective about the individuals that you add, but every connection you do add does expand your profile. So as far as connections go, think about the teachers, think about your coaches, your mentors, classmates, coworkers, families, friends, any acquaintances that you know. And then as you continue growing through your career, your connections will grow and thus your access to the network will grow. There's also a separate section where you can add your accomplishments, your honors, awards, and publications. This is a great way to brag about yourself. So please add as much information into those sections as possible. And finally, the last sections I want to mention is interests. This is where you can follow influencers, various companies. schools, and groups. I'm gonna pay a lot of attention to groups in the next slide. So LinkedIn groups are a very important part of the LinkedIn because it allows you to expand your reach. So when you join a specific group, you will have access to all of the members within that group. So you will be able to contact them directly without being connected to them. Another ways to use groups is to engage in conversations, to ask questions, ask for expertise, ask for advice, and also share your expertise. As you will become experts in your careers, you'll be able to share some knowledge as well through those groups. If you're thinking about which groups to join, think of shared interests. It can be like your school's group. Maybe you're studying finance, so you can join any finance groups. And future groups and future interests. Think of your future interests. If you want to become an accountant, you may want to join a CPA group. Now I'm going to take a quick pause and I'm going to jump into doing a demo on profiles. Are you guys able to see my profile? Yes, no, give me thumbs up. All right, awesome. So this is my profile. This is what my profile looks like. And you guys are having a visibility of my profile the way I see it. That's why you see these little edits. This is where I can click and edit the information on my profile. I chose a professional picture. When I posted a job through my work, it gave me this little hiring banner. But if you are an open networker, you can add an open networker banner. This is where you can click here, open to new jobs. You can utilize this section. This will let the recruiters know that you are looking for a job if you click on this. You can add various profile sections. I'm utilizing some of the sections. I'm certainly not utilizing all of them. And there's additional information. You can send my profile to somebody. I can download this profile into PDF and it'll kind of look like a resume. And it will give you a resume builder tool through this profile. So when we scroll through this, you'll see this is About Me section. I have a dashboard here. What this dashboard tells me is that, there's 410 people that viewed my profile. My post that I last posted was viewed 1,409 times. And I've appeared in 131 searches. Now, my job as a recruiter allows me to add a lot of individuals. So as you guys will continue growing through your professional networks and through your career, you'll be able to expand your sections. The activity section will show you my comments. Hey, Jane commented, congratulations, April. This is what I'm saying, that your comments are going to be visible to everyone. You can expand my activity section and see what I've posted on or mentioned in the last few months. You can look at my experience, my education, and then the skills and endorsement section. This is the section that I mentioned that will help you add keywords to your profile. You can either take a skills quiz test and see which skills you should add, or you can click here, add new skills. And because I'm in human resources, naturally, everything has to do with recruiting and human resources, but I can actually say, hey, I am a great accountant. And here's all of the skills that I can add that have to do with accounting. Recommendation sections. This is the recommendations that you can ask individuals to give you recommendations. All you have to do is just ask for recommendations. Type in who do you want to ask. The name will pop up from your connections. You have to be connected to that individual. And then you'll click next. Leave them a short note saying, hey, could you please recommend me so it can show up on my LinkedIn profile? And hopefully the individuals will recommend your skill sets. There's my accomplishment sections. It's obviously not populated much, so it does show you the languages that I speak. And here's my interest sections. So if you click here, you'll see that I have influencers. These are the individuals that I follow. These are the companies that I follow. These are the groups that I belong to. And I actively participate in discussions within those groups. And because of that, I increase my connections, the individuals that I connect to within groups. We tend to connect offline as well, and they add me and we exchange expertise, etc. And there's my schools. Now I want to show you guys somebody else's profile. I just did a quick search for an intern, and this individual popped up on my feed. I am not connected to him right now. As you can see, he's in the 2nd degrees from me. I can quickly connect with him. And here's a trick I wanted to show you guys. If you connect to somebody, like for example, if you are reaching out to a recruiter, or if you're reaching out to a hiring manager and you are not connected to this person, what you can do is you can click this connect button. And instead of paying for a paid LinkedIn profile and using your in messages, you can utilize this as a free message, and I can send him a quick message. So let's say this individual was a hiring manager, or this individual was a recruiter of a company I was targeting. What I would put in this message is, hi, my name is Jane. I saw that you were hiring for a recruiter. I am incredibly interested in this job. Please let me know if I can send you my resume. Chances are this person will add you, and then you can send them the resume directly. Or you can follow up with a message saying, I've sent my resume through your website. And chances are this message, the recruiter will view this message and will do something about it. So I personally get hundreds of messages per day. So do I reply to every single message? No, I do not reply to every single message. It would be impossible. It would be a full-time job. But if somebody sends me a message that is well written and well thought out, I will pay attention to that profile. I will send that profile to my recruiting team and ask them to screen that individual. So absolutely do not be shy, send messages. And this way, by clicking that connect button, you can send messages for free. If you want to send an in message, they'll try to charge you money for it and say, hey, go ahead and upgrade to your premium account, which I currently do not have. So quickly, let's look at Brian's sections. So Brian has a highlight section. He chose not to put anything in the About Me section. Here's his featured section, his activity, experience. This is where Brian has been interning in. He's got a lot of internship backgrounds. Here is his education section. He did choose to add his GPA, which is pretty impressive. And here is his volunteer experience, which is another great way to show your extracurricular activities. You also can see his keywords right here, his accomplishments. He chose to add some of the coursework. Again, this will show up in keyword searches. So if somebody's looking for an accountant, he may show up because he took an accounting course. And again, it's his interests, it's his groups, his companies that he follows, etc. If you guys are very passionate about companies, certain companies, and you have a target list of companies that you want to join, I highly recommend you follow these companies because they post interesting updates. And actually, that will take me straight into my next slide. All right, so company profile. Company profile is very similar to an individual profile in terms that it has all the necessary information about that particular company. So you can learn a lot from a company profile. You can see where they're located. You can learn a little bit about the culture of the company. You can look at their products and services that they offer. You can research the company news and any of the PR that they've sent out. You can look at their jobs. You can look at life at that particular company. You can look at people, and you can look at events. LinkedIn jobs. LinkedIn is an amazing tool for job searches. So just take a look at those statistics. There are 14 open jobs. 3 people are hired on LinkedIn every single minute. And the way LinkedIn tracks that, if you click on a job through LinkedIn, and then eventually update your profile with that same job, LinkedIn would attribute that job to having gotten a job through LinkedIn. That's how they are tracking that 3 people are hired on LinkedIn every single minute. So I've outlined several steps that you can take when looking for a job. Number 1, please do research your companies. Know everything you want to know about the company. This will help you make informed decisions. This will help you prep for the interviews, and this will help you identify any type of commonalities. Within commonalities, you have to see if you're connected to that job in one way, shape, or form. See if you know anyone at the company. See if anyone is in your connections. That will help you get your foot in the door. If not, if you don't have any connections to the company, what I recommend is you find the recruiter within that company, find a hiring manager within that company, and send them a quick note, just like I showed you earlier, the easy way where you can click that connect button and put a note in there. But when you do send them a quick note, make sure that it's a short note, it's well written, well thought out. You put your contact information, you ask to be connected, you ask him that, hey, I've already applied for this job through your website. I'm really interested in getting my foot in the door. Would you be able to connect me to a recruiter? I can show that again to you guys in the next demo session that I do. Job alerts, please do set up your job alerts. They're a wonderful way to be notified of similar type jobs that you are posting, so you can be one of the first applicants. And again, do not be afraid to reach out. As a recruiter, I do not have time to answer every single message, but I do read every single message. And if your message is short, if your message is to the point, well written and well thought out, I will look you up. I will forward your resume to the recruiting team. And I'm sure I'm not the sole recruiter that does that. So let's do a quick demo on jobs. First, I wanted to demo the profile. This is my company's profile that I chose. So if you go on the homepage, you'll be able to see About Me section. You can expand that section. You can read it. You can see how many employees are there, how many of them are on LinkedIn, located, etc. All of the pertinent information is on here. You can look at posts. This is the post that my company puts out. This will give you a good feel for the company and the culture within the company and what kind of PR they have. You can look at jobs. These are all of the open jobs that we currently have. If you click here, view all, it will expand this section. If you click on any one of the jobs, you can see more information. You can click here on the apply button. You can save this job. People function, people button will help you identify individuals that work at this company. You could see where they are located, which areas. You could see where they went to school. And there, I went to Cal State Fullerton. So let's see if we have anyone from Cal State Fullerton. There you go. There's 10 individuals that work at Wedbush that went to Cal State Fullerton. I can determine who those individuals are. I can reach out to them and say, hey, as a former alumni of Cal State Fullerton, I'd love it if you can connect me to the recruiter within that company. And most of the people will reply to that type of a message. Wedbush also has amazing algorithms that will start suggesting of the people I know. These are all of my coworkers, so it automatically knows that I'm not connected to them, but hey, they're on LinkedIn, I should really connect with them. And any type of videos that my company has put out. You guys can watch the videos, see what's important to my company, see what kind of information we put out there. Now, let's do a quick demo on how to search for jobs. Do you guys want to give me any title of a job that you want to search for? just put it in the chat box. And Gus, if you can let me know if there's anybody in there that answered that question. Don't be shy, guys.
We have a couple. We have a phlebotomist, we
Let's
have business analyst.
do something easy like business analyst. So when I typed in business analyst, do you guys see what happened here? So it says, do you want to look for a business analyst in jobs? Or do you want to look at for it in services or people or groups? And basically it's asking me, what exactly am I searching for? And if I'm looking for business analyst and I'm trying to recruit them, I would click on people. But because I'm looking for a job as a business analyst, I'm going to click jobs. So right here on top, I can narrow it down because as you can see right now, there are 53,000, over 53,000 business analyst jobs that popped up for me. That's way too many. Okay, so this is all within United States. So let's say I want to narrow it down to Los Angeles. Now I'm down to 2,000, so that's much more palpable. There is a job alert that I mentioned earlier. This is where you can click on the job alert, and what it will do, it will set up a job alert and it will start notifying you every single time there's a business analyst job that pops up in Los Angeles. It will send you a notification through your email, and you'll be also able to see it on LinkedIn in your feed. I can narrow it down by date posted, experience level, company, job type, whether it's a remote position or not. And this easy apply button means that some companies completely eliminated the application process, and you can now apply with your LinkedIn profile. So if you have a very well-developed LinkedIn profile, you don't have the time to sit there and fill out the applications. You can click this easy apply button and it will narrow down the jobs that utilize this feature. Not every single company utilizes this feature, so I highly recommend not only applying to the jobs that are using easy apply, because you will be limiting yourself in the jobs that you will otherwise be open to. If you want to look down at all of the filters, you can actually continue filtering it down into whether it's a part-time job, full-time job, contract job, etc. You can select all of these and it will continue narrowing it down for you. But let's say I don't need to narrow it down. Like this job at PennyMac looks great. I want to apply for a job. So obviously there's an apply here button, which is great. I read through the job description. I see that my skills match it. I would go update my resume to make sure that my resume has enough keywords to match to this job. And I highly recommend doing that for every single job that you are applying. Okay, you read the job, you look at the requirements, and then you go back and update your resume to make sure that it's hitting. It doesn't have to hit 100%, but it's hitting at least 50% of their requirements. And then you would click apply. But what I'll see here is I'll also see here that I have connections that work at PennyMac. And there's 23 Pepperdine alum that work at PennyMac. So guess what? Before I even click that apply button, I can reach out to my connections and say, hi, I've noticed that you work at PennyMac. I'm interested in applying for a business analyst position at PennyMac. I've already prepped my resume, submitted. Would you be able to introduce me to a recruiter? Would you be able to give my resume to the hiring manager? Or I can also apply directly, and if you could just put in a good word for me or something like that. Now, all of these connections that work at PennyMac, I actually don't know them personally. They're not my friends. They're not my acquaintances. There's somebody that through LinkedIn, they became connected to me. So my email to them would be a little bit less personal and more straight to the point. I would really appreciate if you can add me to your, if you can connect me to your recruiter within the firm, or if you can forward my resume to them. Attach your resume and off it goes. Any questions in regards to searching for jobs on LinkedIn?
Remember that if you have questions, you can go ahead and enter them in the chat and we'll answer them right away.
All right, since you guys don't have any questions, feel free to save your questions, and then there's going to be a Q&A at the end, and I'll be able to address any of the questions that you guys may have. So I will jump back into the presentation and talk a little bit about networking. Networking is one of the most powerful tools. You should always be networking. It should become a part of your daily routine. You're getting coffee, you should be networking. You're in class, you should be networking. Any small talk today can potentially turn into a job opportunity tomorrow. So please, in your regular lives, try to meet as many people as you can, whether it's on LinkedIn, whether it's, through your classes, whether it's in person, through a coffee shop, or whatever it is, meet as many people as you can. And as you meet these individuals, you should memorize your elevator pitch. Do you guys know what an elevator pitch is? Show of hands, thumbs up, something. Anybody know what an elevator pitch is? Yeah. Okay, so it's a quick pitch about you. Okay, and that pitch can change as you develop in your career. That pitch will change, but it will sound something like this. Hi, my name is Jane. I am currently a senior at Cal State Fullerton. I am studying finance. I'm incredibly passionate about numbers. I'm great at data mining. I love quantitative analytics. Something along those lines where you can quickly sell yourself and your professional self and your skill sets in about few seconds. As you will grow through your career, you'll add to your elevator pitch, you'll develop your elevator pitch. Eventually, you will add the so what aspect. So I'm really great at numbers, which allows me to do A, B, and C in my job. Okay, so as you are networking, the elevator pitch, it becomes very important because that's your way of introducing yourself to the individuals. So be an active participant in discussions. I know this is very early in your career, and there's a lot of discussions that you guys are not quite ready to be an active participant in. But discussions that you feel confident about, any topics that you feel passionate about, absolutely be an active participant. However, be very careful in engaging in controversial topics online. I'm going to remind you guys again, internet is forever. Stay away from controversial topics. Also, once COVID restrictions are lifted, attend as many networking events as possible. It takes a whole different type of skill set to do networking events in person than it is online. So it takes a whole lot of practice. But the more you practice, the more confident you will be in your skill set and in your elevator pitch, and the more confident you will sound. Don't be shy to start conversations. Pick topics that you're comfortable with. Be an active listener. So as much as talking is great, you should listen more and talk less. And also, don't take rejections personally. If somebody didn't accept your request, if somebody didn't respond back to your email, it's okay. It happens all the time. Rejection is rarely personal on LinkedIn. So please don't be shy. Don't take it personally, and network all the time. That is, if you learned anything from today's presentation, it would be networking is one of the most important tools you'll have. Networking will get you jobs. So please be comfortable in networking, know your elevator pitch, and don't be shy about reaching out. This is my last slide, so I just wanted to give you a few do's and don'ts about LinkedIn. Do begin using LinkedIn as soon as possible in order to expand your reach. Do post engaging professional material, and please, I'm putting an emphasis on professional here. Brag about your achievements, add honors, art certifications, awards, anything else that you can think of that you can add to your LinkedIn profile, absolutely add it. Always grow your network, join groups, add connections, reach out and network. And few of the don'ts is, please do not use LinkedIn as you would Facebook. Socially, you may want to engage in controversial topics, but on LinkedIn, stick to professional topics only. Don't change your profile picture frequently. You want to stay memorable. I see so many LinkedIn pictures, but there's some that change all the time, and I never know who that picture belongs to. Whereas if you always have your profile picture the same, or at least for long periods of time and you putting out content and you participating in discussions, I will always remember your face and your name together. Please don't spam people. If you're asking for connections, add a quick intro. Just like I'm sure you don't want to be spammed with a lot of marketing material, sales stuff. Also, don't do that to individuals. There's a very short line between being somebody who is persistent versus being somebody who is bothersome. So if you emailed somebody once and they didn't get back to you, absolutely feel free to follow up with them again. However, if you emailed them twice and they didn't get back to you, it's probably best to move on to the next individual. Beware of the LinkedIn jail. If you guys don't know about it, it is the real thing. So if you send way too many invitations and nobody's adding you into your connections, you may be out from sending additional invitations. So LinkedIn actually locks you out for a while because it's saying you connected to too many people. You will either need to upgrade your profile, you'll need to get a recruiter profile or something like that. So again, this is my last slide and a few things that I wanted to mention. Takeaways from the presentation is, number one is LinkedIn is a professional networking site. So keep everything at a professional level. Networking is the most important tool that you can use. So network in your daily lives, network in your professional lives, network in your school lives, network on LinkedIn, network in real life, everywhere you can. Networking will get you the next job. And everything else, LinkedIn is a very easy to use tool. You guys are smart. I know you guys can get through it. There's so many buttons that you can click on LinkedIn. The good thing is you can't break it. So please explore, learn as much as you can, and feel free to reach out to me if you guys have any questions. And for those of you that don't have LinkedIn profiles, please do start your LinkedIn profile. I can be your first connection. I will add you. So please send me a LinkedIn invite. So that takes me to the end. Do you guys have any questions for me?
So students, go ahead and start putting your questions in the chat. So I'll go ahead and just kick us off. Jane, one of the things that you talked about were about recommendations. So I want to ask, who are the people that you want to ask for recommendations, especially with our students right now that maybe don't really have employment? Do you ask teachers? Do you ask people that you worked in internships? Do you ask colleagues?
All of those. So I would say start with teachers, start with your mentors, start with your colleagues. If you have done an internship, ask your manager to post a recommendation. Okay. Do not ask random people for recommendations. They don't know you. There is not much that they can recommend. So start with your professional network, start with people that you know. And as you will continue growing through your career, this is not a popularity contest. It's not like if you have more recommendations than the next guy, you'll get the job. No, it's the quality of those recommendations that carry the value.
Got it. All right. So we have a couple questions on here. I got a question that says, am I able to look for a job on LinkedIn in the radiology department, like anything related to radiologist or ultrasound tech? So I guess, does LinkedIn permit you to find different types of jobs? Are there specific type of industries that it's better to look for on LinkedIn? I think essentially like the student specifically looking for something along the lines of radiology.
Let's try it, you guys. I don't know. I think it is. So typically LinkedIn, I've always associated with business fields. However, LinkedIn has grown so much and so tremendously that the other day I was helping my friend who is a registered nurse find a job on LinkedIn. She didn't even know LinkedIn existed because it's not something that she's utilized in her career. So I helped her set up her profile. I helped her look for jobs, and there was tons of job opportunities. So radiologist. Radiologists in jobs. 13,000 results for me. So absolutely, the answer is yes. So if you come across anything that you like, I don't know if this is a good area for me to look for a link, try it, right? The worst you can do is maybe not find any relevant jobs, But guess what you're going to find is you're going to find companies that hire for similar type jobs. These are the connections that you can meet. These are the connections that you can network with. And actually, you know what? Let's see if there's any group. Oops. Let me try this. Radiology. I'm trying to see if I can get out of, hold on a second. Let me get out of jobs and go radiology. All of the groups that you guys can join as a radiology professionals. There's 22,000 members. These are the people that you can ask questions. These are the people that you can network with. These are the individuals that you can say, hey, I am thinking about a career in radiology. What does it really entail? What can I do? What's the next step for me? You can find mentors through here. So the answer is absolutely. There's tons of jobs in radiology in any field that you want to through LinkedIn.
Thank you for that, Jane. Okay, we have another question. Would it be professional to upload our resume onto LinkedIn? I've seen some people upload it while others do not.
Yes, absolutely. Upload your resume. One thing is, if you upload your resume and you get a job, please take your resume down. I've seen individuals keep their resume and they completely forget that it's even there. And what happens is they may have grown in their career, yet their resume is still like showing them as an intern. So it is absolutely reasonable to upload your resume. It is, I would advise to load your resume on LinkedIn, but as soon as you do get a job, take it down because later on you'll be able to update it and upload your most recent resume.
Great, thank you. Another question.
And actually, I want to make one more comment. I'm sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
When you are uploading your resume on LinkedIn, please know that LinkedIn is a public site. As I was able to find our intern that we used his profile, anybody can find your resume. So if you are putting your phone number on your resume, your personal email address, you may start getting spam. So what I would recommend is omit your phone number, put it into your LinkedIn contact information. So that way only your connections will have visibility to it. And for any job search, I highly recommend creating a completely separate email address that you can use for job search only. That way, that's the email address that you will use on your resume. So even if it is visible to the general public, it's not your personal email address where eventually you're going to have to shut it down because too many people are emailing you.
Great. Yeah, great feedback. Thank you for that, Jane. All right. Another question. Are all the positions we find always recent, or may we run into positions a few years old? I think we talked about this yesterday, Jane, as far as recent jobs.
Sometimes people don't take positions down. Okay, so let's see. We are looking for radiology. Okay, there's a button right here that says date posted. If you click on it, you can say, hey, I already did a search 7 days ago, so I don't need to see the results in the old search. So let's just look in the past week. Let's see what new positions came up in the last week. And that's how you search it, and that's how you narrow it down.
Great. Perfect. Thank you. So we have another question. The student asked about phlebotomy, but I think it applies in general. So the question that the student asked is, I'm currently finishing up a phlebotomy licensing program. Would it be a good idea to start looking for jobs on LinkedIn now or wait until I get the license? And I mean, it applies to in general because it could be something for students saying that I don't have my degree yet, but should I start applying now or should I wait until I have my degree? In this case, the student's asking if he should wait until he gets that certificate that he needs.
Don't wait. Okay, so you will come across some jobs, for example, and I'll give you Wedbush as an example. Wedbush hires in real time. What it means is that the jobs that are posted on our website today are the jobs that are actually actively open. When we fill the job and the person starts, we close those jobs. So for somebody who's not quite ready to start their job for another 5 months, Wedbush is probably going to be one of those companies that you're going to come across and say, hey, I'm really interested, but I can only start in 5 months, and we'll tell you to contact us in 3 months. but there are plenty of companies that hire people far in advance. For some government contract or some other jobs, it takes them sometimes over a month to go through the background screening process. So don't wait, start applying for jobs, but you also want to read through the requirements of the job. Every job has this requirement section, the qualification section. And if it says your license is required, those jobs you want to apply only after you obtained your license.
Got it. Great. Thank you. Students, do we have any other questions that you would like to ask?
I hope you guys learned something today. Hopefully this has been an educational experience for you. Again, please feel free to add me on LinkedIn. My name is Jane Titova. I'm the only Jane. I think I'm actually maybe another Jane at Wedbush right now. So even if you type in Jane at Wedbush, my profile will pop up.
I do have a question, Jane. I think we talked about it before, and you did mention it. I know when adding contacts, sometimes you should be selective on who you add. So what do you recommend as far as who you because you do want to have a good network, right? A good strong network, but also and at the same time be selective. So how do you recommend that our students are able to filter out these connections?
So number one, when you're reaching out, try to reach out to people that are somehow relevant to you, whether you know them in real life, maybe they're studying in the same field, they work for a company that you're interested in. You may not know them face to face, but somehow you share a common interest. And you can actually put that in a note when you are sending a request. When I am looking through my connections and I see that I have, 10 people are trying to connect with me, and somebody who is doing multi-level marketing somewhere in India, I may be questioning, do I really need to connect to this individual? I can tell you that for those of you that are studying accounting and want to become a CPA, if you go into and become an auditor at one of the big fours, you will probably get hundreds emails from recruiters saying, I want to hire you. I want to steal you from this company. So that's when you have to be selective. Do you really want to add that many recruiters to your network so they will call you every 5 minutes? Do you want to hold off and maybe selectively choose the recruiters that you want to work with? So this is what I mean about being selective. Be careful about who you add, because you don't want your inbox on LinkedIn turned into a spam box. So do take a look at the profile. I've seen some fake profiles that spam information after you add them. I know LinkedIn has been wonderful about eliminating those profiles. If you guys do notice these types of profiles are trying to contact you, there's a way to block them. There's also a way to report them to LinkedIn.
Thank you. All right. So I don't know if you have any more questions at this time, Jane. Any final words of advice for our students?
Network, network, network. I think that's the most powerful tool. LinkedIn is a professional site. Stay professional. And you guys, please feel free to connect with me anytime.
Jane, thank you so much for this great presentation, for this great webinar. It was very informative. We learned a lot. So thank you so much. We're really grateful for you helping us out with this.